Hi, welcome to this session of Talking Tech, Women and Girls in ICT. My name is Yomna Sherif. I'm an aspiring IT architect at IBM Egypt, and I recently graduated from the German University in Cairo with a bachelor's in business informatics. Today, I'm delighted to be representing the ITU Generation Connect Arab Youth Group, and I'm very excited to be having this discussion about tech and tech careers with senior researcher, CEO, and founder of SPA Co. Limited, Salwa Al Zahmi. Talking Tech is a series celebrating girls and women in tech being recorded around the world between Girls in ICT Day 2020 and Girls in ICT Day 2022. Girls in ICT Day is an international day marked on the fourth Thursday of each April. In 2021, Girls in ICT Day was held on 22nd of April. The objective of Girls in ICT Day are to help to create a global environment that empowers and encourages girls and young women to consider studies and careers in the growing fields of information and communication technologies. The Talking Tech series is brought to you by the ITU, UNICC, and the Office of the United Nations Secretary General's Envoys on Youth, and is in support of Equals, the global partnership for gender equality in the digital age. The goals of the series include increasing interest in inspiring girls and young women with information about a range of ICT careers that can be had, and showcasing initiatives that are working with girls to support them in ICT studies and future careers. To kick off this session, I'm going to introduce you to CEO and founder Salwa Al Zahmi, the founder of SPL Co. Limited, and an award-winning research scientist and a multiple patent inventor who is leading the AI-based software transformation and modernization research group at EBTIC. Her research focus areas are in software quality, big data, and artificial intelligence. Hi, Salwa.
Hi, Yomna. It's a pleasure to have a today talk with you. And I would love really to share my experience with the audience here in the tech field. I have experienced a lot of things related to starting my startup, being also a researcher, leading my own research group at IPTIC Research Center in Abu Dhabi in UAE. I'm very delighted to start our discussions.
Amazing. So my first question to you is, how did you get into the field of technology?
Yeah, so this is like, it started actually when I joined the university, although that I've been in medicine school as the first year. But then I decided actually I had a lot of passion actually and connection to more IT courses. So then I completely shifted to engineering college, where I studied the networking and software engineering major. And then because I had always this passion to add value to the community that I'm in, so that's caused me to drive me to build a very strong base knowledge in this field. So I worked around 7 years in industry, both in software engineering development, in leading software projects, both in private and government sector. And then also I worked now for almost 8 years in a research center, which is IPTIC. IPTIC, by the way, is a research center established by British Telecom, Etisalat, and Khalifa University in UAE, and funded by ICT Fund. It's really care more about applied research. And it was one of the places where it's given me really the infrastructure to build, a successful research in which is I call it today SPL project that's address the challenges that I actually experienced in the software engineering field during my industrial experience. Particularly, it is in more in software modernization, quality, and verifications, which was always my passion for. And here, this is so until now, until today, I have founded the SPL Co startups, and at the same time, I'm leading the software engineering research group in IPTIC. So, what about you? Can you tell me also how you have joined the tech field?
Okay, I also started at university. In high school, I knew that I liked business, but I was also a big fan of, and I was really good at maths and physics and all of that. So I wanted to get into a major that would enable me to combine both aspects, business and development. So that's how I got into it. I was able to create apps, not just creating it and letting it be, but making sure that it has a business value, that it matches the economic climate that the app is being born into. And that's basically how I was able to navigate different fields while still maintaining my specialty and what I'm most passionate about, which is AI, specifically machine learning. But through that major, I was able to understand and get to know a little bit more about macroeconomics, which is something that I did not know in the beginning. But now that I know what it is, I'm very, very passionate about it now. So I'm trying to combine both aspects.
Yeah, that's very amazing. Yeah. It's a very great, to get connect with you, Yomna, in this field.
Thanks. طيب, can you talk to us a bit more about your project and the challenges that arose with it?
Yeah, currently my project that I'm working on is related to software modernization using AI and machine learning to speed up the modernization process of legacy software so we can upload it to the cloud in more efficient way. And at the same time, we're trying to apply the AI also to speed up the verification and auditing of the AI systems, which is very critical these days. Currently, my project is addressing the needs that if you see today, everyone wants to move to the cloud, and most of them are not adopting the most efficient way. So they actually using the cheapest asset and the fastest, which is lift and shift. But then when they move it to the cloud, they don't get the value of the cloud that can provide. So the need to modernize the software, refactor it was very important so they can get the value of it. And from that perspective, it got me actually inspired me to start the SPL project. That's currently we are trying to commercialize. That's why I started SPL Co in this field. So what about, can you tell us more then from your side, what is the achievement that you have so much proud of for now in your field? I would love to know more.
Okay, so actually there are two things that happened very recently. So I am a part of a graduate program at IBM. So my team and I, or my friends, we're a group of girls from different countries. So it's a virtual team. We created a web app that, given a business specifications document, in return, it prices it and then it recommends an IBM product. So we did that using NLP, natural language processing, and smart document understanding algorithms, which are two different fields that I have never worked with before. So now that we're able to do that was honestly amazing. The second thing is I'm volunteering at the International Telecommunication Union, the youth group. So that's the specialized agency in the United Nations that handles everything ICT. So they wanted the voice of youth in their resolutions. So just a couple of months ago, or actually last month, we came up with a resolution that specifies exactly what the youth needs when it comes to technological implementations within our region, within the Arab group. So this is something that I'm very passionate about because, as you can see, the virtual icon that I have behind me is the Sustainable Development Goals. So for me, I'm trying to embed it within any project that I'm a part of because it's something that I'm really passionate about. So I'm happy about these two. Can you tell me about yours?
Actually, the things that make me a lot of proud of is like that I established the research groups in which is related to software engineering challenges, and to be leading in applying AI to solve a lot of the problem that software engineering face. The second thing that's making me a lot of proud of, and just to go back also, that I was able actually to patent the techniques that I have developed to decompose and refactor the monolithic applications so it can work efficiently in the cloud infrastructure, which is one of the a lot of needed need now in the industrial field. At the same time, I'm very proud that I was able now to start and establish my own startup, which is SPL Co. it is really one of the things that's make me so proud, because it's give me the place where I can contribute as a woman in tech to the economy of that world, actually, in that area. And at the same time, is to create value and other. Be an entrepreneur, it's really going to inspire a lot of youth in my generation. And then that's what make me a lot to advise women to join the tech field. And I will show you later why it is very important for them to be really in that field.
I'm very excited.
So, it's, I would love also to know from your side, where do you want to be in the future? I would love to hear more.
Okay, so in the future, I hope that I will be done with my master's and my PhD. I want to be able to, through my research, I want to combine both macroeconomics with AI, specifically machine learning branch, because that's my field. I come from a developing nation, and so I think that there's so much that I can contribute to in terms of macroeconomic policies. And I think that infusing what we know now with predicting what could be in the future can help us a lot in terms of outcomes. So I just think that this is what I could do, and I think that it's a very promising field for me, specifically within my region. I also hope that I'm still working with the United Nations and contributing to fulfill the SDGs that are right behind me here. So
great to know that, and I hope you all the best in your future.
Thank you. I want to go more into depth with what you were talking about earlier. So how was it being the only woman pitching a deep tech initiative?
Yeah, almost like, just to give you a little bit brief about UAE in general in supporting women. So UAE actually supports women in almost all fields, actually. Being a woman pitching for a deep tech startup was a bit unique here, but I got a lot of tremendous support. Supporting knowledge economy of the country and tech startup in general was always one of the main objectives of our governments, despite of the gender. So I got all the recognition and support to make SPL really successful. So it was being in deep tech at the beginnings is always, a challenge, because the way that you sell the product is different than when it is B2B, different than when it is B2C. So that's one of the challenges that I have been facing, not actually to get attraction and getting the support. It was always there. But actually, the actual challenge that entrepreneur really facing in terms of securing fund and getting customer is mostly the challenging part here, because the revenue that you're going to make, or the success and the risk actually factor is always very challenging for investor to convince them with that. So it was very challenging at the beginnings, but now since I got a lot of experience, it's been almost 5 years, it's been almost 4 years actually operating the company. I got through all these challenges, and thanks a lot for our government that support women in tech despite of the gender, actually. Thanks a lot.
It's amazing that UAE empowers such a solid foundation for STEM majors.
Yeah, thanks a lot. And so I think, so the final questions maybe for you, and I would love always to know, who is the woman that's really inspire you in your domain?
Okay, so a woman that really inspires me is Rania Al-Mashat. She's the Minister of Investment and International Cooperation in Egypt. She's an economist, and she's honestly such a phenomenal woman. She worked at the International Monetary Fund, which is an organization that I hold very, very highly ever since I started university. So the fact that once she's done with all of that and she moved back to the country and she was able to become the minister and give back to the community, not just for her benefit, but for overall prosperity, is something that is just amazing in my opinion, and she's a role model for me.
Yeah, good. I mean, it's very important for us to have this role model for us, because it pushes to work harder, and it's like to be as them, or sometimes even try to contribute even in different fields. They really give us the power From my side, I got inspired by His Excellency Aisha bin Bishop. She is one of our pioneers here in UAE in tech and field.
Finally, can I get a couple of advices to girls and young women getting into the tech field right after graduation?
Well, regarding this, and I would love I love to encourage women to join tech fields, either to be an entrepreneur or researcher or to be an expert in the IT industry. Either. So that is really for let's say two main reasons, and others. So let's say more women in tech sector could always translate to higher number of female-led startups, which is very important considering that actually women entrepreneur and female startup founders lead successful business across the globe. From also another perspective, seeing that AI has been integrated in many aspects of our life, adding more women with technical skills in AI field is one way to reduce what we call it bias that may happen in developing AI systems by providing this additional perspective. So when we're creating and training the AI, is going to be more accurately reflect a diverse and inclusive society. It's like your case, yeah? You've been actually participating in developing these smart AI systems that you have mentioned earlier. Also, we can say like today, women globally make the majority of buying decisions and for many app and software. So including her perspective in the development process is going to be very critical. So that's why I'm advising all the women as we are really facing revolutions in AI, being in that field is going to be very critical because your perspective, your opinion in developing these systems is very critical. So from here, I hope that you have actually enjoyed and you got some perspective on our achievements. And also we add value actually for the listeners. And if anyone want to come back to us, and I mean, do you want to know more about the challenges, how to go through it? I'm more than happy actually to share that with them.
Thank you so much, Salwa. That wraps up our session today for Talking Tech, Women and Girls in ICT. Thank you so much for being here. I loved interviewing you and getting to know you a lot more, and just your experience is incredible, and you've inspired me to start my own startup once I have the idea for it. I really enjoyed our chat today. Thank you so much to you, and thank you so much to our viewers for watching.
Thanks a lot, Yomna.